Vamos a ver. Yo no estoy bueno con la policía es la que está haciendo crímenes. No sé qué hace crímenes. I'm not afraid. There are human beings who have committed crimes and they need to pay. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go closer to the things. And that's my family members whom have been hurt by the Bennett family and all those Salvadorians who own the porno company. They owe money to my family. Francisca Maldonado Jimenez, my grandmother, Alicia Manzo Maldonado, and Alicia Esperanza Santamaria Manzo. Women who were abused by them and never paid money to and never gave them the money that they offered to in because they say they were sorry and they gave a contract. These cops own Adult Emporium, and I have to say that throughout my life, many of my friends who have been victims of these people are people who work like Cry Help. Cry Help was used to film porn. The facility of Cry Help, the Fire Center, was used to film porn. Also, Craftsman Inc. in South Central, the house of Stephen Johnson, the house of Robert West on Center in Lincoln. So many of my employers and my friends have been robbed by these individuals. And many celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Lizzo, Lindsay Lohan, Kourtney Kardashian, um, Britney Spears, Jessica Spears, Adam Levine have been victims of these cops who have robbed them and also sexually abused them. The possibility of them playing with their mental health by causing the loss of memory is a huge possibility, and they've been robbing many people's memories to steal their money in many positions in the police department, as well as positions and places like where they do DNA testing. And also, they've been selling identities of Americans to people in foreign countries, and this can cause for a terrorist attack to happen. Because, like in my case, my family has been switched by them because they don't report body missing. What they do is they bring somebody from their country that looks like us, and they replace the person, and they don't report the murder. And that's them. Alejandro Sandoval, Jose Sandoval, Rafaela Jennings, Daniel Mesa, George Lopez, Victor Ortiz, among many other names, are the ones responsible for these crimes. That the kitchen cook of a rehab facility here in San Diego, California, named Stepping Stone, like Paul, the kitchen cook, is involved in this crime, as well as a guy named Victor Ortiz, because in reality, the real names come from the man who is their family member, Michael P. Gilbert, who is related to my HIV doctor, Tari Gilbert, who works at the Owen Clinic. Oh, they murder my brothers and they are pretending to be them. They stole their documents and they killed them. My family is the family member of those who they owe money to. New Zealanders and Salvadorians are actually the murderers. The only victims are my family members who are being victimized by all of them. Look in the floor and look in the school. In the school, they're hiding behind and all the way around. Look by the bungalows and they've jumped the fence. And this has to do with Salgi City police officers who also own the bus company and also the transit buses. You know the security people that work at the transit department? Those are owned by the police officers who one of them is Philip Mena. Philip Mena is a police officer who showed up to the scene when I called 911 when I found the human head in the backyard of Mr. Banking's residence, Southgate 10136 San Carlos, in 2002 in November. But that guy charged me with possession of drugs. Right here, there, over there in the corner, there's a police car. And they are the Bennett family who have victims brought from many places. Many of my family members are here in San Diego, brought from Bakersfield, San Diego, Arizona, and Texas. I don't know the reason. I don't know. I don't know anything. But as you guys remember on Facebook, I've been placing videos of things that I hear. And it happens that I didn't know that the cops killed the man that invented a device to track them down and hear them, that it was invented in 1977. And the reason why those cops have been killing people is because they kept the $57 million. Doctors involved in the study here done in San Diego that comes with Chandler Carrington and William Crow, who was an Armenian guy, Freddie Mercury, Mahesh Patel, Anthony Catalano, are names of those people involved. But the cops who are getting away with this murder are the same guys that own the porno company. And they are the Bennett family. My name is Jose Daniel Santamaria Manzo, and I'm staying here at the Travel Time 5447 El Cajon, San Diego, California, room 214. My case manager, Stacy, that works at San Isidro Health Centers, uh, our place located in Euclid and between Market and Imperial, has been helping me through a housing project that helps people with HIV to get emergency housing. I'm going to Freedom Ranch. It's a rehab, but I'm concerned about the safety of many Americans because these Irish people have been placing cameras everywhere I go, claiming that there's an investigation, but what they've been doing to many people is harassing them, claiming to be immigration officers to those people who are drug addicts, and they threaten the victims to take their documents. So in the process, they possibly sexually abuse the victims, traffic them, take money, hurt them physically, and eventually take their documents, take their belongings, their homes, and their money and their lives, and bring in people from their country. There's a documentary called "The Men with the Red Bandana." You can see it on YouTube, and if you see it, pay attention at the faces of those people. They are the Bennett family. The Bennett family controls the TV media. Like if you focus on the TV show The Big Bang Theory and or Yummy Mommies on Netflix, or and you investigate who is a police officer who showed up to Lakeside 12349 uh, Rockcrest Road, uh, 92040, where I was working taking care of an older man whom I lived with before in Hollywood. That happened to be Chandler Carrington, the man that left me his money. However, these people, many years ago when I met him, they left him paralyzed. It happens that the Bennett family managed to leave the victims that have money um, disabled for them to take over. Either they make them lose their hearing and their ability to talk, or their ability to see, their sight, or mentally disabled, like a vegetable. I don't know what they do, but they do that. If you investigate victims of them and you track the insurance companies that file the the incident report for them to pay, not really pay the victims, but whom they were promised to get paid. Please, I ask to please investigate. Alicia Manso Maldonado. My mother was abused at the age of 18 by that porno industry, and I'm the son that came out of that abuse. My uncle Evodio Santamaria, who was Victor Ortiz, left me houses and many other things that never were given to me. My mom married my stepfather, who was Leobardo Santamaria, who was Evodio Santamaria's brother. So there was not much that can be said because they were related, they were relatives. And my mom didn't want me to know, which woman is going to be okay by telling people about the terrible experience. Well, that happened many years ago. I'm 44 years old now. When we live in Tijuana, those people from El Salvador, Daniel Mesa, tried to murder my mother. And he made a hole in her skull. And that was the reason why we moved to the United States. And we've been living our lives until the harassment started by the Gilbert family, whom had been living around me ever since I was born. I think that the device that was put in my body that the police officers use for special reasons, but they've been using to steal money from people. And it happens that they call me the Kardashian because people hear me. I don't know how and I don't know why. But they didn't want me to know that they used me for that study and that they murdered the guy that did the study when I was 2 months old and whom left money. And those people have been using the money. So the family members of the Gilbert family have taken turns. And all their sons use the money claiming to be the Alejandro because the Alejandro is the person that carries the device that is named Alejandro. And whom I myself have never received any money from that family. Recently, I had this theory that because I dated a guy named Marco Antonio, and then I found out that my mom's father name was Marco Antonio, and that he owned a phone company, that the Bennett family had been reliving the names of my family members whom they murdered to change the will. So the will that was left by Marco Antonio Manzo to Alicia Manzo that included a ranch, and that's an Armenian man related to Kris Jenner, lady from the Kardashians, um, has been switched by the lady that runs a honest program in Vista, California, a lady named Alejandra who uses the name of Alice because Alice is my mom's name, Alicia. And Alice is a very nice lady who happens to change her name very often. When I met her when I was younger, her name was Lydia. She was a whatever girl who got pregnant by my brother, Leobardo Santa Maria. Those kind of women, they like to fuck around when they're young and whatever. Well, then that lady, quote unquote, the daughter of a man who used to be Humberto Valenzuela when he was Hispanic, but then when the Irish guy killed him and he became him, he he had the last name Bennett. And when they killed Freddie Mercury, who was Fernando Venegas, or Mahesh Patel, who I worked for Subway in Compton College from 1992 to 2000 something. I don't know, 1997, I will say, to 2006. Owned a Subway and Compton Community College inside the cafeteria. He also owned a Subway on Bellflower, California, on Artesia and Bellflower, in the corners next to Alverson, and also another one on and Firestone and Bellflower in the city of Downey. I happened to be the store manager, and I worked myself way up until I got infected with HIV by Marco Antonio, a man that now is a Mexican actor named Eugenio Derbez. Uh, Back then, I didn't know that he had infected me with a needle. And I didn't know that he infected me because they wanted to keep me in a bubble for them to take over. I didn't know that the Bennett family owed money to my mother, and I didn't know that they had left many people have left money for me and for my mom. Um, I got infected. That lady named Lydia, who had a son with my brother, used my DNA to claim to be me for her son, and her son became, I don't know who, but the Bennett family always had the money. The insurance company that paid for those abuses for my grandmother and throughout the years is my same family. My family is very small. Well, I heard that the porno people killed their victims, and I thought that was a lie, but I'm afraid that this is real, and and I need your help because it's not about the money; it's about the safety of the country and the safety of many Americans who is being jeopardized by those individuals who run the police department in the city of Southgate. And due to a device that is to speak without speaking, um, has caused for this thing to get like ugly. And Corey, boyfriend of Chris Jenner, the possibility of him being the doctor who uses missiles to make you lose like oxygen, like it's been happening to me ever since they murdered Chandler Carrington in Lakeside under the name of Alfonso Catalano, because those cops are trying to use the 50 something million dollars as the study generated. Um, it's ugly to see that those people don't care about your family, and those cops have enticed minorities and many people that they need money to commit crimes. And for the last 20 years, they have human trafficked my friends and my family. They have used all the facilities that I have gone to, like Cry Help, is Flagler Center in North Hollywood. It's a rehab. It's supposed to be private. HIPAA law has been broken because those cops from the Bennett family had gone into the installations of Cry Help and harassed them. Porn has been filmed in the rehab. My doctor, Manuel Pardo, was murdered by them. Also, they murdered Dr. Chang in West Hollywood, who worked at AHF and La Cienega. My dentist, my nutritionist, and the porn actors. My ex-boyfriends, my ex-employers, Baby Cake, Subway, among many others. And some of the employers that I had were money that was left for me that those people make me work for. And up to this point, they haven't given me any money. Michael P. Gilbert's son, who had the name of Oliver and worked at Ross and stayed with me as Father just recently, happens to be the man that used those documents that they left for me to become legal. And because of the study, the carrying the device, there's also connected to the NASA. Um, well, it will make me American, right? If my father is American. But unfortunately, it's not about the money. Like I said, it's about the safety. And right now, I'm at the Travel Time Hotel, and those police officers who are related to the Salvadorians also from Banda del Recodo, who are committing crimes, and whom happen to bring people to this hotel and places around here. My brother from Texas, Leobardo Santamaria, and his wife Francis. My brother Gabriel and his wife Abby, who just had a baby born from Commerce in LA. My sister Alicia and Alejandra, who I think I heard had been kidnapped for a while, and my sister Claudia, who lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and her kids, and Claudia Sibrian, and my nieces and nephews, and my cousins Valeria, Arlene, Monica, Vanessa, and all their daughters here in San Diego. And the side of my stepdad side of the family, Gregorio, um, Lorena, Maggie, Francis, Rodolfo, Daniel, mi tía Lorena, mi tía Vicky from Bakersfield. And it's ugly to think my grandmother in Tijuana, mi tía Rosa, mi tía Ana, mi tía Alejandra, and friends of mine, Vianet Vasquez in Las Vegas, my case managers, my case workers, my doctors. And today that I'm making plans to Freedom Ranch, and I talked to Mike A, I heard in the background the presence of those cops who also are there, and they hear me due to the device that robbed me from my privacy, and that was the money was granted to me for that reason. But those cops don't want people to know that, so they've been killing all the doctors involved. Manny Romero from HNRC is involved. Frank Frank Sinatra, Dr. Allen, the cousin of Kyle Richards, a guy who goes to Bingo Hall in the city of North Hollywood and Lancashire, connected to Cry Help. He's been robbed. His hotels, he's connected to Paris Hilton. Kim Kardashian herself, remember Paris? These cops happen to know how to mirror phones, and that's how they rob her, and they have robbed many other people who have money. Those guys, like I said, Banda Recodo is the group of cops who are Salvadorian but are really Irish, who have been committing crimes, abusing women, and um, and doing those terrible things. The son of George Lopez on the TV series George Lopez happens to be the man that abused my sister Alejandra Santamaria Manzo, and my nephew Sebastian is his son. The same man as the man that I dated named Mario Guerra, but is the son of my my brother Leobardo and that lady from Choices, Miss Alice, Sabina or Dawn or William Crow, um, are those criminals, and they don't have respect for my mother. And they neighbors on every location where we lived are the family members of those cops who killed my real neighbors on every location and buried them in their same homes. And they became them so they could attack freely the victim, the target, which was like in 15123 South White Avenue in Compton. It's my mother, and all the neighbors are the criminals and family members of those cops. Same thing for every location. For the money given to my brothers, because William Crow, which lives at 240 Euclid Apartment F in the city of San Diego, is the Bennett guy married to Tari Gilbert, but moved to San Diego years ago and became William Crow. But that's not his real name because he wanted to own the phone thing in the study. Um, Send paperwork because he's a cop, claiming that Alicia Manso and Jose Daniel Santamaria were dead. So he's been receiving money, and his family members from Ireland with our names and our identities. So people that they start getting plastic surgeries and coming to America to be us. And the same man has been receiving 6 checks claiming that he is the household of the family and he gets the money. And in fact, he is the man that owes money to my mother and my grandmother and my sister. But he's been the one creating all this commotion. He has a lizard tattoo on his back side of his leg. It's the father of Robert Brown, and it's related to Rick Smith. Well, that man is the man that owns now the barber schools and here in downtown and throughout the city. They own Subway here in 54th and El Cajon. And I don't know how they happen to own all those things that my dad left for me. Robert West Airbnbs, where I work for their mine, but they have it. Food for Less, grocery outlet, and Norgate Market. They're supposed to belong to Armenian people, but the Armenian people were murdered by the Irish people and they became them. Um, these cops have never reported anybody missing. We are under a terrorist attack because these people take the documents from Americans to give them to their own people and bring them in the country. They don't like blacks, they don't like Hispanics, so if they want to be black, they'll spray their body black. Philip Mena is an example of an Irish guy who is um, acting to be a Hispanic guy. Philip Mena is the cop that showed up to the scene in Southgate 10136 on Carlos when I called because I found the human head. And that was the human head of someone who they murdered. I believe it was Mahesh Patel, my Fernando Venegas, who was married to Mitya Mari and who she had a ranch and many things, and all those things are gone. And my family members have disappeared. I don't know. I need help. And I ask you to please ask the federal police to investigate those cops from the city of Southgate, 2005, before and after, to check the social security numbers of those cops or throughout the times to see when it drastically changed, to check who owns the bus company and the security team that works for the transit department. Also to check the cameras of all those people who work, looking at the cameras because they have people working, talking to my ear because they know the device, and they've been mentally abusing me for the last over 20 something years. I always hear when they rape, when they hurt, when they stuff. So that's what they've been doing to cops because they also put the device and it's not allowed to be used without permission of the criminal justice, which they are doing without permission of them. Um, these cops have the device on their bodies. Mine is located in this place where no one else's is. And that proves that it's true about the study. Plus, people hear me and all those things. So, all the evidence and all the things that they say about me is dumb to even tell them that who's going to believe them because people hear me. I came up with the conclusion that if you are in your cell phone and these people are hurting somebody, that you'll be able to hear it because it drags the thing, you hear it. And if you browse to the TV channels, you also can get the signal and hear possibly and help those victims. They either hide them under the taps or under the pipes because like I'm at the hotel and I hear like people under the floor or in the walls or under the tap when I go in the shower. So I ask you to please call health department and request to investigate and also send the embassy to check our identities, especially the owners, to protect them. Navajo Lodge starts us in travel time, motel. They're HIV voucher hotels. That's why I'm talking because the man did many things for people with HIV because he knew that I had it. So um, I need help, and many Americans whom I would love to that they will never go through this again because Edwin Panameño, who lived with Ben King in Southgate, told me that the police were going to do to me what they did to a prior kid that they used to go to Ben's house. And I remember the one time a lady showed up with a mental diagnosis letter, like a power letter that he was in charge of whatever. So it came to my head that these police officers happened to choose one person to turn crazy. And then they robbed many people and then they put the money under the person's name and then they split the money in the end. But this has been going on for over 20 something years. And this includes the $54 million of the study plus. I would say people that got robbed like Britney Spears, Kim Kardashian, Lindsay Lohan, Caesar Hess, um, Lance, Tyler, Rex Apala, Marlene Nadell, Jack Bernstein. Please, 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 I beg you. My phone number is 619-332-7408. Something very important I have to mention is that these cops use the company AT&T, whom they stole, to do shady moves. They buy a phone that matches my model phone. They get my phone number and they transfer the phone service to their phone. They make phone calls or they make shady money transactions or trafficking, and then they send back the number. So they make up their own evidence towards people they victimize, and then they put in jail or kill. And then they just put on the file. So you please request to check the files, to check the phone calls, to check if the phone was transferred from back to back, back to back. Like check my phone number, 619-629-1094, 619-745-0253, 629-332-7408, and check if if this happens throughout the day, because sometimes I make phone calls and they say, "Oh, just to verify your caller ID phone number, like to call back in case it gets disconnected is this," and sometimes it's like 415, and I'm like, hmm? Or text now. I'm like, why would I have text now if I have phone service? Obama phone from True Connect. Um, so I came up with the idea of buying me an iPhone 4 because that way nobody will have it. Because nobody will get an iPhone 4 right now. So please check and also investigate about that coach who got set up about human trafficking and whom they say he murdered, he killed himself, but no, that was also the Bennett family. Protect Americans by protecting yourself and protecting other people. It just requires a phone call to the federal police and request an investigation to the city of Southgate and all those everything, because that's the city they used to do the transactions, the buying, the stealing, all those cars of people they keep and they disappear. They keep in a lot. I know that, and they sell the cars, but they never sell them because they can never sell them because they don't got the pink slip. So what those cops do is they make those victims that they're harassing waste their money and lose their money and always repossess the car because they can never own it because it's not theirs. And that's what they do. My name is Jose Daniel Santamaria Manzo. I go to the doctor at the Owen Clinic here in San Diego, and my doctor is Tariq Gilbert, which is related to those criminals, Michael P. Gilbert. I need help getting the money that those people left me and get those people out of this country because they're a threat of the safety of this country. I was born October 31st, 1977. And something important is that I got a Blue Shield insurance that San Isidro provides for me. But there's a social security number being used that I do not have. So please investigate the phone, the social security number, and maybe whoever pays for my insurance to see if it's a credit card and if they can track the purchases that they do, the things the things that those people buy, and see if one of those cameras they can get to see the person that is using my name or the social security number that I do not have. And ask Chris Jenner to get a DNA test with her nephew because he's Irish. And it's not me and it's not my mother. And we are related to her. Thank you, Miss Grace, for being an inspiration. And I have to say that we never had nothing to do with any negativity that was put in your head. I believe somebody's been bringing negativity or doing bad things to the Kardashians. But I know in my heart that it's not like that. And even if I was related to her money and her life is not mine. And just because she has it, it doesn't mean that I'm entitled of it. People work for their things and they work for that lifestyle and for the things that they have. And that's how it is. I respect that. But those people who are not related to her demand things. If you see this video and I'm no longer alive, I ask you to please keep people safe. Bye. Please don't let those cats keep the money. Because nobody will get hurt my mom, my sister, my family, and get away with it for them to keep doing porn. And fraud. Harassing me and then suing those people who help these people because they lied to them and then charge them for money for harassment. And this is my name. Jose Daniel Santamaria Manzo. I was born in 1977, October 31st, in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico.